DigiMarCon Atlanta. I have another special guest here today, and we're going to be talking a lot about marketing and some of the differences between B2B and B2C. And right here, I have with me Danny from B Leads, and he's the CEO of B Leads. And you definitely want to look him up on LinkedIn because he shows up as a top marketing voice on LinkedIn. I think that's pretty cool. That means you're basically a professional at what you do. And I'd like to pass the mic to him to give a little insight for us about just a little bit about his background and his company and start diving into some of these broader concepts. We were already having a really good conversation, I have to say. And he already has brand colors, too. I mean, you've got the orange going on, so this totally works. So I'll just pass it off to you if you want to tell us just a little bit about yourself and your company.
Sure. I mean, that was a great introduction. Thank you. We look like the brand for sure. So I'm Danny. I've been in the Martech space for over 10 years, and I've been building technologies around the same space. And I've realized that the way people distribute content has changed over the past 10 or 15 years, right? And with so much noise and so much competition, it's become really hard to get your brand out there in front of everybody. But with certain strategies which are not even that expensive, you can get out there in front of people and also start to generate ROI from this content marketing activities. And um, we I think that the number one thing that companies should really do when they're putting their content out there is go with publishers. So there are publishers like IDG and CIO.com, where there are millions of visitors coming in on that page, right? And actually downloading content, doing their research before they make any purchase. And then there is intent and install providers, which are very intelligent engines to find out which accounts you should be prioritizing for. And once you are done with those two services, you should go to a content marketing agency that actually helps you disseminate your content to everybody else that these guys are not able to provide. And B Leads is actually trying to automate that process. And versus outsourcing today, we are trying to do everything using technology, so we are cheaper, faster, and more efficient.
Mm. Cheaper, faster, and more efficient. I like those words. I think those are great
Everybody
words.
does.
Yes, right? When you hear that, you go, oh, this is something I might be interested in. Would you like to dive into a little bit about sort of the differences? So I know we were talking a little bit earlier about there's like brute force marketing techniques and then there's more targeted techniques. And when you're working with B2B, I think you're more in the targeted realm and your ultimate goal is to provide a transaction for people that are your customers. And I think that's really great because it's not just like, oh, here, spend some money and then maybe possibly you'll get something. This is more like, hey, this is Apple and we've got data results. If you want to talk a little bit more about that, I think would be great.
For sure. So there are, I don't know, 200 cybersecurity companies today, right, in the market, and everybody is providing a different solution. So we all know that everybody is going to go after cybersecurity managers, directors, so on and so forth. But then, how do you determine what other audience is right for you, right? So coming back to what I was saying previously, when you use publishers and when you use these intent and install technologies, they determine ICPs for you, because you're not only you're out there, people are downloading your content, and then you suddenly find out that, you know what, maybe a system administrator would be the right title for us, right? And once you have all of that, then that gives you your predefined ideal customer profile that you can take to content marketers or marketing agencies, and then start syndicating your content more effectively.
Mm-hmm. So, on that note, on a personal level, what sort of inspired this brand? And I think it's a really cool name, by the way, Bee Leads. You know, I think of a bee finding its honey, and like it's a really cool branding. But I'd like to hear just about your personal background and why this is like such an interesting, topic for you, and maybe a little bit about your company's history would be really cool.
For sure. So I started my career making cold calls for large companies, generating appointments for these guys, and I saw that impeccable data is very hard to find, and data is perishable, right? So if I give it to you, it starts to get bad, and it gets bad over time. So because people are changing jobs, there's always these radical shifts, new titles come up like AI and all of these things there right now. But then I think that I was inspired to do what I was doing because it was a necessity at that time, right? So every single time I wanted a better jobs. That's why I co-founded Demand Matrix, which was bought by Demand Based. And then right now, I saw that companies were looking for a way to generate ROI, and the only way you can generate ROI is by reducing price and improving quality, and that's how B Leads came into existence.
That is really cool. Again, words we like to hear, right? High quality, low price, right? Those are, they sound like buzzwords, but this is the man in action taking these words and making them happen. So, well, thank you so much for sharing about that. I know that your company focuses more largely on the B2B. And are there any particular, like, I don't know, customer success stories or maybe interesting conversations you've had here at DigiMarCon or Texpo you want to share? Um, Anything that might inspire people to, at home, to think, hey, we got to look these guys up, and maybe at the next DigiMarCon or Texpo, let's go over to their booth and have a personal conversation.
Absolutely. So, more than generating ROI and being a cheaper solution in the market for a higher quality, I think that it's not only the 100, 200, or 300 people that we deliver to you guys. It's more of the thousands of emails and the phone calls that we make on the back end to actually get in front of your audience. So even if they are not downloading your content, they have seen your brand, they've recognized it, and then that's just an add-on. And then you wonder how you got that sudden demo on your website. Maybe Billy sent an email 3 months ago, right?
Right. Yeah. Very good.
Awesome.
Awesome. That's really cool. Well, thank you so much, Danny, for sharing and being a part of our amazing DigiMarCon and Texpo event. It was really a pleasure talking with you and kind of picking your brain a little bit about marketing. And I just want to say, definitely, if you haven't again, it's Danny with B Leads. You definitely want to check him out because, again, top voice on marketing and strategy on LinkedIn. That's quite a badge of honor and well deserved. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.